This documentary that not only tells the story behind the rise and fall of one of the world's largest video game rental corporations and its effects both personally and culturally across the world, it also follows the manager of the Last Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon, and her attempt to save her store and her family business. My overall opinion of this movie. Let's jump into the negatives. Well guys, there's not a lot of negatives in this one, to be honest with you. For me, this documentary has a lot of personal stories around the world of their time going to Blockbuster. A lot of people going to Blockbuster, famous people. And so I thought that might be fun to go ahead and share my personal experiences with Blockbuster or going to video stores in general back in the day. Let me start by saying, obviously, I love movies. I love anything surrounding movies. I like the video stores. I love the video stores, I should say. They're not really around now, as this documentary proves. I love theaters. I love anything around movies. I have a lot of fond memories of going to the movie theaters to rent movies with my family and watching movies together. A lot of happy memories of just going to Blockbuster and wandering around. For me, I preferred Hollywood Video personally, but I'll get into that later. And so I remember when I was younger, it's probably college years and high school, I really I wanted to get hired by a Blockbuster or any video renting store. That seemed so freaking cool. I thought, I can't imagine if I could do that, that'd be awesome. So I tried many times at Blockbuster, I remember, and I tried many times at theaters. I ended up getting a job at a theater. So that's where I went. I ended up working in a total about 9 years, part-time, full-time, manager, projectionist, concessionist, box office tickets, every job you can imagine there in the theaters. But I would have happily worked at Blockbuster or any other place had I been able to. And so that for me, this Blockbuster just brings like a lot of memories back in college, going there with my friends, trying to pick a movie, trying to compromise, which is always a difficult thing to do. I tell you guys, there's something about going to a video store and getting the last copy of a Blockbuster. No pun intended. Now life lesson time, where I take something from the movie that we can use to help us build a better life. For me, listening in this documentary, a bunch of famous people, talking about their memories at Blockbuster and how fun it was, yada yada yada, really makes me realize you have to appreciate the moment and have gratitude for the moment when it does exist, because it no longer exists. And at some point, those people, a lot of them, I know me included, wasn't really appreciating what I had, and then what's gone, you're like, oh, I wish it was there. It's important to appreciate the now. It is so easy to focus on what you don't have, what others have. Comparison is the murder or killer of all joy. That's what they say. This brings me to resentment. Resentment is a very dangerous thing. Resentment can occur when you focus on the negative, what you don't have, what other people have. It may even be justified, but resentment is a negative emotion that does no one any purpose. It creates more suffering and more pain. There's no point in it. So the opposite of resentment is gratitude. So try to focus on what you have and realize that resentment does not serve you. Resentment just creates more pain and suffering and makes things worse. But hey guys, that's just my opinion. Take what you want, leave the rest. Remember, I'm just a guy. Let's get into the positives, shall we? This documentary not only talks about the rise and fall of the corporation and what happened, because we all think, oh well, Netflix won out, that's what happened. No, Blockbuster actually, according to this documentary, was doing really well in the video streaming business as well. There's the situations that caused them to fail. Poor business situations. Part of what made this documentary really enjoyable is that it was a goodbye or an homage to a past that no longer is. The documentarians were not only able to give the overall idea of what happened at Blockbuster, they also found the last Blockbuster and they made it a family thing. They showed out this last Blockbuster is a family and they're just having their last business, and so it got on a personal level. It also had a lot of interviews with a lot of famous people just talking about their memories of going to Blockbuster. Like even them, they have fond memories of Blockbuster, and that made it really neat. And they had interviews with just normal employees, past and apparently present now because of this Blockbuster as well. Overall. Now to be honest, Blockbuster was my least favorite video rental store. They were super corporate, super greedy with their late fees, like ridiculously crazy with the late fees. But when you watch this documentary, you start to understand why they were that way. Like, it's just kind of weird. Like, you're, oh, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, it wasn't my favorite video store to go to. I preferred Hollywood Video. Shout out Hollywood Video for various reasons. and a store called Hastings. I don't know if you guys knew what Hastings was. It was a music store and video rental store. That was a fun one to go to also. This was the video rental life. Like, I remember doing this. I remember renting movies and the passion and excitement of it. So I was able to get into this and really enjoy this documentary. If you have fond memories around renting movies, there's no reason why you won't enjoy going down memory lane. So I think you will enjoy watching this documentary as well as I did. Because at the very least it's like, oh yeah, I remember that. That's cool. That's why I'm giving The Last Blockbuster an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10.
Peace! Yeah, boy.